I'm coming to you with 10 powerful, amazing lessons I have picked in the year 2025 that will transform your 2026. Because as I've said, 2026 is going to be amazing, it's going to be massive. We are growing, we are increasing, we are becoming better people, and why not? So let's get into the video. Rise and shine, oh, rise and shine. Welcome back to the growth space. My name is Marian Mikali, and I am so excited to have you join us today. 2025 has carried so many lessons that I think that are very important that we can pick to make our 2026 better and improve who we are and make ourselves better. So I'm just going to share my 10 amazing lessons that I feel like are amazing, that if you have some that you can apply, for example, in your 2026, so that you make your 2026 amazing, because hey, we're gonna have an awesome 2026. So the first lesson I have learned that I feel is very important is people change, so you need to allow them to do that. Okay, stop holding on to outdated roles and responsibilities when it comes to people. I have learned something concerning myself. The girl I am now is not the girl I was when I was beginning 2025. There has been so many things that have happened that allow me to not just see life but also to see people and to rate myself in the life of people. And of course that forms my understanding, and now I know how I need to approach people, because then I have seen that I shouldn't have probably gone too far as I should have. There has been so many changes even in the lives of people that I know and I love, that now changes things. People will change, allow them to do that, and also make sure that you're changing, because change is inevitable. We all need to change, and change can be good, and I hope that all of us are changing for the good. Okay, the other lessons I have learned is that consistency beats motivation. When you're working towards a dream, it can be very challenging to move forward, to pursue that thing, because it is strenuous. It is sometimes you don't feel like waking up to do something. You experience barriers and challenges and situations that cause you not to actually do that thing, but because the aspect of consistency is a subconscious thing that you have put in your in your life, then that actually gives you the grace to do that thing. I don't know if I'm making sense. So if there's something I want to ask you, even as you're going to 2026, please embrace consistency. Once you embrace that, whether motivation is there or not to do whatever it is that you are doing, you will find yourself doing it, because now you've already set up an need of just being consistent. And when things happen that actually are challenging that consistency, you arise and you're like, I need to do better, I need to do better for me, so I am going to change everything and just make sure that I am doing that. So you really need to work on consistency. The other lesson I have learned is that silence is a superpower. Not every opinion needs your energy. The other lesson I learned is that healing is not a straight line. Healing is not linear. We all heal differently. We all heal depending on how hurt we were or how invested we were in whatever it is that is causing us to be hurt. I'm going to use an example. So you're in a relationship, and probably the person that you're with, you invested your time, you invested your emotions, you loved them wholeheartedly, and they were not there in the relationship with you. So of course you have been you feel like you have been taken for granted, and then probably that person now becomes unfaithful, which is another challenge that you have to deal with, and that can really affect you, and it can affect your esteem and your ego. But then because you have been hurt, there's another person who will be hurt, but they had not yet invested as much as you. So of course the healing of these two people is going to be different, right? I am again, depending on what this person did to you, can also determine how long it will take you to heal, right? So I have learned that healing is not linear, and that there's no particular way you can say, for me it took me like I think 2 or 3 days to come out of probably an abusive relationship. For someone else it took years. They carried probably the wounds and the traumas. So of course it's not linear. Okay, I'm just not going to explain further than that. Just know healing is not linear, and it's okay if you are going through bumps while you are healing from emotional or any other kind of pain that you're going through. So as much as sometimes you start to have progress and you see that it has dipped, it doesn't mean it's the end or it's over for you. It's just that you invested more, you are emotionally in tune with yourself, and that is a good thing. So do not feel bad. You just move on and work on your healing, because already you have decided to walk the journey of healing. The other lesson I learned is that you teach people how to treat you, right? It is important to set boundaries, and I have talked about this a lot in my channels, that boundaries are very important. If you don't have the boundaries, then people will treat you just anyhow. In these banks, once you go past either 4 or whatever time they have said that that is their time done, it's either you who needs their services will wait until tomorrow. So you can either wake up early, or if you feel like you're delaying, you will maneuver your way to make sure that you get there before they close, because you know once you get there past the time they have stipulated, you're not going to be helped. And that is how our lives, I don't know why every time I usually ask myself, I don't get why we as people who are interacting with people don't set boundaries for ourselves. Institutions set boundaries. Even they give workers like boundaries of this is as far as your role goes, so that we do not have issues where someone is stepping on the toes of the other, right? We have this manager doing until this far. We have the general manager doing this far. We have the supervisors and everything doing this far. We have the HR doing this far, because it actually avoids a lot of stepping on each other, and everyone knows their place and their role. And it's also important for us as individuals, even in our lives, to set such boundaries and be like, you know what, you can't call me past 11 or past 10 because it's too late. And what are you telling me? Unless it's an emergency, that's when I'll pick. But there are people who you can actually pick their calls past that time because of the relationship you have with them, right? So you need to teach and train people how to treat you and how to respect you and how to talk to you, because you matter, and you also want to have people who will respect you and respect your boundaries. The other lesson is that rest is productive. Burnout serves no one. Resting is important because once you rest, your mind is renewed and it's easier for you to actually think, and then your body as well becomes lighter, so that you can make sure that you maximize your profits and the time that you have, rather than spending so much time and having less to give. The other lesson I learned is that your environment shapes your discipline. The office, it's your workspace. You don't just leave papers everywhere. You plan your desk so that it is so easy for you to actually manage, and it clears your mind, right? That is very important. The other thing, lesson that I learned is that self-respect is the highest form of self-care. If you love yourself, you're gonna say no to a lot of things because you respect yourself. Because I feel like a lot of us don't know how to say no, myself inclusive, especially to specific people. I feel like if I tell them no, I am letting them down, and I need to be there, I need to be supportive. So I think for me, when I think of support, I think of just saying yes to everything. But then I learned that saying yes means that sometimes I'm overwhelmed because I've said yes to so many people. I know some of us, even who are in business, sometimes you know that by then you cannot meet all these orders because you are looking at probably your laborers, you're looking at the time of production and the cost of production. But of course, the demand is too high and you cannot supply the demand, but then you continue taking orders, 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 and what you end up doing is you disappoint your clients because you are saying yes a lot. So it is very important for you to just say no for your own peace of mind, because if you don't respect yourself, then you will, one, ruin your relationships, and two, you will not deliver. And that also again comes back to, even if it is a business, it comes back to having a very bad business reputation, because people will be like, they just don't deliver, or they deliver late, because you know what, you took more than you can chew. So it is very important to say no for your own, because it is a form of self-care. So you're taking care of yourself, but also it pours out to even your businesses. Sometimes I would rather you tell them, if you really need the job, you can actually tell them this. I want to do this. I have another order that I am hoping to deliver before yours, or I have three orders that I need to deliver. If it's okay, can I do yours tomorrow? Because sometimes when they're ordering as clients, they have their deadlines as well. So you can negotiate and see if they can't wait, or they can't wait for next week, because next week it's easier for you so that you can plan for them well and deliver on time. Then allow them to go be served somewhere else, because you are looking at just saving your face, your name, and you want to make sure that you deliver. So please learn to say no in 2026. The other lesson is fear is loud, but courage is quiet. Do it afraid. Where we are waiting like everything to work out, to make sense, so that you can begin even when you're scared, because fear is very loud. It will tell you to stop, it will tell you not to do, it will tell you to wait. But courage is quiet. It is when you just say, you know what, I don't care, I'm just going to do it. I don't care, nonetheless I will push through. The last thing is God's timing is the best. It's strategic. Sometimes we feel like denial, like delay is denial. Don't fear, don't be scared. And even if you are scared, do it while you're scared, because courage is quiet. Yeah, the noises of the fear will be so high. The fear will tell you you don't have equipment. Fear will tell you you are not a good communicator. Fear will tell you that you do not have experience. Fear will tell you so many things, but don't listen. Focus on God and focus on your craft, because at the end of the day, you know why you began, and God is going to make everything align in due time. 2026, I'm telling you, we're going to take flight. We're going to be better. We're going to be stronger. We're going to do exploits, and I can't wait to see and hear your testimonies and your comments concerning what you guys are pursuing and how successful it is. And I just am so excited, because woo, you are amazing and you're going to do great. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that the lessons really helped. And I'm just here to ask you, which one of the 10 lessons hit you hard? And if there's something that you resonate with, probably you have your own lessons that other people can learn from, please share in the comment section, so that they get to know some of the lessons that worked for you, or you picked that are very important, that we can actually learn from in 2026, so that we stop having so much pressure, so that we stop feeling like everything is competition, and we just walk authentic lives that are meaningful, even as we pursue the things that God has put in our lives. Thank you for being here. This is the Growth Space. See you on the next video. Bye.